Hello and welcome to the first video in a series exploring an important area, referencing. This first video is just going to look at a few fundamentals of referencing, essentially when and why we reference. Because it is the first video in a series, I want to spend a minute to acknowledge that I am on Kaurna land that was never ceded, and I pay my respects to the traditional owners of the land, past, present and emerging. You're at uni, and you know you need to reference. Quite often students do ask why. Why is this considered such an important thing at university? And the key to that lands here in this word, integrity. Integrity is one of our core values here at Flinders, and you'd be familiar with the term academic integrity and the need for students and staff to always meet the standards of academic integrity, meet the requirements of academic integrity. Quite often then, students become a little bit fearful of academic integrity, and I want to try and dispel that for all of you. Academic integrity is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. Academic integrity and behaving with academic integrity is an incredibly positive thing. It is not a negative thing. It's not something to be worried about. It is something to strive for. Why is that? There's a quote attributed to Isaac Newton you might be familiar with. I think it probably dates back a little bit earlier than that. If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. And this is at the heart of that idea of integrity. And then, of course, referencing the mechanical way in which we often meet the standards of academic integrity. You're here at uni, you'll be learning many new things, gaining new knowledge, and at times creating new knowledge. That you are able to do that you are able to see further than others, is based on all of the work that people before you have done. And referencing our way of meeting the standards of academic integrity is how we do that. It's how we acknowledge all of the work of the seminal authors in our discipline, the giants of our discipline, all of the great thinkers of our discipline. That's the way that we are able to acknowledge all of their work and say, this is how I have been able to gain and create new knowledge. So why do we reference? We reference to acknowledge the work of others. That is absolutely key. But there's also a really practical side of it. We reference so that someone reading our work is able to go and access the same resources that we have used. They are able to find that information for themselves. Following the conventions of referencing allows someone to say, I know exactly how it is I can find the information used here. It also has a very important element to it. When we reference, we're able to show our readers, who are often our markers, that we have conducted thorough and balanced research. And of course, we reference to meet the requirements and the standards of academic integrity. When do we reference? This can be the hard thing. Well, when do I put the reference in? We reference when we are using an idea that was not originally our own. Now, in your academic work, in your study, you'll be introducing and integrating a number of ideas, a number of different sources that you found. You might do that through paraphrasing, you might do that through summarising or quoting directly. It doesn't matter how it is you integrate the ideas, whether you use your own words through paraphrasing or summarising, or whether you use the exact words of the original author through quoting. Just remember, we reference ideas, not just words. So anytime you introduce an idea that you have found somewhere else that is not your own idea, even if it becomes a part of forming your thinking, of course, on the topic, if you find an idea that isn't, of course, originally your own, we reference it. Whether we use the exact words of the original author, whether we put it into our own words, we reference ideas. What can be frustrating and confusing for students is the fact that there are a number of different referencing systems, and quite often referencing systems, an individual one has a number of different versions. So many conventions to learn. What's really important is to identify which referencing system you need to use, and you'll be able to know that through the degree program that you're doing. It is likely that you will have been told that you need to use Harvard, for example, or APA, or slightly less commonly MLA or the NOTE system. If you're unsure, if you feel you have not been told which referencing system you need to use in your discipline, simply ask. Ask your lecturer, ask your tutor, which is the referencing system used in my area, in this area. Once you find out which referencing system you need to use, the very big tip I have for you, get a guide on it. Grab a referencing guide for that particular system and keep that guide close to you. Never let it go. There are a number of conventions that drive students crazy, that drive everyone crazy in relation to referencing. You don't have to remember them all, you just need to follow a guide. The Student Learning Support Service has a referencing guide for the really commonly used referencing systems here at Flinders. You can find the guides on our flow site or on our website. What you want to do is grab yourself a guide and follow it. We have a number of resources that will help sort of explain each system and other kind of principles of referencing. But in the first instance, just bear in mind why we reference, when we reference, and start by working out which referencing system we need and grab a guide. The best tip you'll ever get in relation to referencing is coming from me right now. Just follow your guide. I look forward to seeing you again soon in a number of different videos that explore the mechanics of referencing, explore the information needed in individual references. But for now, bear in mind what I've said in this video, and I look forward to seeing you soon.